Hey, my name's Kim. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming a what we eat in a day video. So we are well past breakfast. It's 11 o'clock. I gave my 6-year-old and 3-year-old just Cheerios for breakfast. It's what they wanted. And then my 3-year-old also had a ton of strawberries. So for lunch for my 6-year-old, sorry I didn't show it, but I packed him half a turkey sandwich with mayo, some popcorn twists, a granola bar, and strawberries. I'm just having I don't really eat lunch or breakfast, but I'm having my brunch is what I usually have at around 11. It's just pineapple and cottage cheese. And at 12, I'll make my 3-year-old's lunch. I'm also having coffee, which I just make iced coffee with my Keurig iced coffee maker and some caramel creamer that I foam and pour on top. And the toddler just came to grab a yogurt. So tonight I'm making some chicken Florentine soup. I have my chicken thawing out on the stove right now. And I'm also making some focaccia bread to go with that. So I will share the recipe down below. Right now I just mixed up my dough and I have it sitting. It's doing its first rise. And then I'm going to shape it into a pan, let it do a second rise, and then I'll show you my steps from there. So there's the dough, and I kneaded this in my mixer for 5 minutes. It's nice and smooth and elastic. Gonna let that rise for an hour, and then I will punch it down, form it into a pan, and then let it rise again. So here's my chicken thawing, and I have lots of spinach to use up, so I saw this recipe on Mama to Five's channel, thought it would be great. I don't have any cream, but I do have a couple cans of evaporated milk, so I'm going to use those instead. I don't know why my can's so dirty, but don't worry, I'll wash that before I use it. All right, my dough is finished the first rise. I'm gonna get it in here with lots of oil and then let it rise again. All right, I have it spread out and some oil drizzled on it. I'm gonna cover that and let it rise again for a couple hours, and then I'll dimple it and add some coarse sea salt or pickling salt and some rosemary. Okay, so here is my toddler's lunch. He's got about half of his yogurt left, some grapes, and a turkey and mayo sandwich here, and he also had a cheese string earlier. All right, so it just finished its second rise, so I'm gonna go ahead and dimple it and pour oil and then salt and rosemary. Okay, so this part is so fun. I sped it up a little bit, but it's super easy, super simple. You just pour a generous amount of oil over top, and then with clean hands, just press your fingers in all the way to the bottom of the pan and just dimple your bread. Seriously, I really enjoy this part. Once you're done dimpling your bread to your satisfaction, you can add your seasoning. So I did coarse pickling salt. I like this a lot better than regular salt. And then I added some garlic powder on top, and then some herbes de Provence. And then I topped it with some dried rosemary. The recipe I used recommended fresh rosemary, but I didn't have that, so I just did dried. And this is how it looked when I was done. So I set that aside. For a snack this afternoon, I had a piece of sourdough with some apple butter and some water. I like these little water flavor packs. I try to only have one a day though, because I try to reduce the amount of sugar-free stuff that I use. So I had this little Welch's one. Also had one of these Too Good yogurts. They have lots of protein. All right, so my focaccia is about to go in. I want it to have a bit of time to cool before I slice it up. So it's like 3-ish and I'm making it now, or 3:30-ish. I'm heating up my Dutch oven. I'm going to cook my chicken and then take it out and shred it. All right, so I just started by searing my chicken breast with onion in some oil. I then added some water, covered the pot for a bit. This is the bouillon that I use, and let it cook. Then I removed the chicken breast and shredded it. And then I added in the evaporated milk, a bunch of different spices, and I added in my chicken to cook it down, let that cook for a while. I think I added herbes de Provence, a bunch of garlic and onion, and a few other things to the soup. And yeah, just continued to let that cook down until the spinach was totally wilted. And this was what it looked like when it was done. So I just kind of let that sit for a bit with the lid on, and there's the finished focaccia as well. So after I picked up the kids from school, they just kind of grabbed whatever snacks they wanted from the snack cart. My 6-year-old had a rice cake and granola bar. Here is the finished focaccia. I just wanted to show the texture of it. So yummy. So the soup is done. I have it turned off, and I'm just gonna keep the lid on, and that should stay warm for an hour until we're ready to eat. And I have to go run some quick errands. So I just sliced up the focaccia into little sticks, and everyone had a few of those. This was definitely gone by the end of the night. Here was my toddler's bowl. He did not touch the soup, but he had some bread and he had strawberries. And for my 6-year-old, he didn't want the soup, so I gave him leftover Italian wedding. And this was mine. At least we have lots for lunches for the week, I guess. We also had some ice cream after dinner, so I just had the mint chocolate chip, as did my toddler. Here's my little portion of ice cream, and my 6-year-old wanted a float, so that's what he had. All right, so it's 9 o'clock. Kids are in bed. I'm about to have a little snack and a tea and go read my book for a bit. So I just have Earl Grey tea. I'm gonna put a little bit of Splenda in this and some milk, and I usually don't use Splenda, but I have all this left from after Christmas baking for my dad, who's diabetic, so I'm slowly working my way through this bag. I just use like a teaspoon of this in my tea, and usually I have crackers or something, but we still have focaccia from dinner, and that honestly sounds better. So that is my little snack tonight.